Hello, everyone, and welcome to Speed Gaming 4, where we have a Link to the Past Randomizer daily race today, doing open boots. Today, we are proud to feature Hitman 1382, Yoinker's Wife, PJ Maelstrom, and Link to the Past Ken. I'm your Uncle Finch, and I'm joined here in the booth with Maddie Walk Hurd and Kif, both pressing the buttons. Good luck, have fun to all of our racers. But with this open boot seed, we're going to start off as if we rescued Zelda, but we're going to have boots to start off with. Always handy to have. And we will be getting underway in just a few seconds here, but make sure to give the runners a follow for volunteering to put on this race for us. A total of 11 folks in this particular race, and it looks like we do have the countdown starting. And we are underway. Let's see who goes to Link's house to start off with. Grab that half magic. And it looks like everyone will go ahead and grab that half magic. Getting a map check. It looks like we have green pendant desert, red pendant Hera, and red crystal Eastern Palace. So that's some good information, and it looks like with that, a couple of our racers are making a beeline more towards the eastern area and Sasarola's Closet here. Meanwhile, we've got folks going for more of an uncle play here. Link to the Past Ken will be able to do a triple here. No bombs. We did get some blue mail, though, in the back of Sasarola's Closet. Always something handy to have. Meanwhile, Uncle does give us with his dying gasp, he gives us a blue boomerang. So both good openings overall, and 50 rupees there. That will help towards being able to purchase some bombs. Meanwhile, getting some very, very welcome Super Mario Galaxy music over on Hitman's side. Bonkrox with just a piece of heart there. All right, and seeing some early routing decisions here. Looks like most everyone is making their way in one form or another, making their way towards Kakariko Village after checking out what is on Lumberjack Ledge. Lumberjack Ledge, we might need to do it for Aghanim, but it's just going to be for our heart container, so we won't really need it that much. But I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, or morning, or afternoon. As we make our play into the Lost Woods over on Hitman and TJ Maelstrom's side. See what we get. Just 10 arrows in Lost Woods. And we do get the book. While our racers are in Lost Woods, we might see a pet check very early, which is excellent knowledge. You're already here. Let's see what they choose to do. Looks like we will just go ahead and continue to Kakariko Village. Makes all the sense in the world, honestly. Hitman going for the 50-50 bunk here. Excellent game knowledge. There is a 50-50 chance that's a bomb. So actually does have 2 bombs going into Kakariko Village. Meanwhile, TJ Maelstrom just going ahead and YOLOing it a little bit. Does pick up the other boomerang, the Power Glove, and arrows, but no bombs. So we'll have to come back in here for that other item. Meanwhile, Link to the Past Ken is going to opt to go ahead and check out what Pedestal is. We do get a bottle there in Blind's Hut, and the hammer. And 3 minutes, 42 seconds in, Head is dead. with the Rupee Horde. So that is going to be good knowledge for Link to the Past Ken. It's going to de-emphasize those pendant dungeons a little bit. But yeah, picking up a couple bombs here. Let's see what the back of well has for us. And with Pet already dead. And there's the flippers. So yeah, it's a good thing that TJ came back in here. We're going to need those flippers. Very likely. Actually, I guess regardless, we're going to need them if we've got 2 pendants in the light world. All right. And getting some, using some good game knowledge there with the golden bee. You can turn in that bee to that bottle vendor for 300 rupees that you then pay to the bottle vendor. So as we make our way through Kakariko Village, we're on the lookout for, we're going to be needing fire rod, ice. We're going to be needing the fire rod, likely also the ice rod. But we're just making our early checks, and then we'll see where we go from there. Do we see South Shore? Do we take a peek up the mountain with the glove? It is a little bit out of logic without either the flute or the. I was wondering if that was going to be the flute right there. Either the flute or a lamp would give a little bit more priority to that mountain. Links to the Past Ken, just going ahead and opting to purchase some bombs there. And just a couple arrows up on the library. Couple very nice chicken clips there. And I didn't check out what was on Race Game, but it's important enough that Hitman is going to go ahead and pick it up. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I was saying about that lamp. There it is. We got a lamp. That's our fire source. That is dark rooms. No longer a problem. So that could be a little bit of mountain, but not going to be... Well, actually, probably going to see back of escape here on Hitman's side. Yeah, we're going to see back of escape and the 3 items within there. All right, Links to the Past Ken does have to circle back a little bit to pick up those flippers. Had opted to route Kakariko Village a slightly different way. Does get a key. Hitman thinking about it, but with that lamp, that does open up Dark Cross. And Hitman could... yep, doesn't have a sword, though. So this is going to be a little bit more spicy. Does get the key right there nicely, though. And TJ Maelstrom making the same decision to go into there. Meanwhile, Yorker's wife looks like will actually opt to go in through the front of escape. So unfortunately, the small key is in the back. So, but this is a little bit of diversions that this could prove to be something, especially since there wasn't really anything in the back of escape. So we'll see where we go from there. Meanwhile, Link to the Past Ken going through Kakariko Village here. Hitman doing a little bit of an uncle route. And there is the Moon Pearl. So Yonker's wife making the correct decision there. Front of Escape does have the Moon Pearl. So all of our racers will have to do this as well. I could see Hitman continuing from here into the Front of Escape, which will prove to be the correct decision. And that is Dark World access, by the way. Less than 10 minutes into the seed. Go ahead and reset those expectations with that guard. There we go. So Hitman will also be getting that Moon Pearl. But meanwhile, TJ Maelstrom is going to go ahead and give us Mini Moldarm Cave. It's a lot denser of a check here, so absolutely, this is another good early play. Can be a little bit awkward with the hammer. Hammer's great weaponry-wise. Its hitbox is pretty rough, as was just shown there. All right, and actually excellent timing there on Yoinker's wife's side. All right, not a whole lot in Mini Moldarm Cave today, but TJ Maelstrom will go ahead and take this and looks like go towards potentially Agina's cave. Which kind of makes sense. Oh, never mind. TJ got the bow. Never mind. TJ got a bow. That opens up some possibilities. Now Eastern's in play. Eastern's a crystal. Eastern's a 5/6 crystal. But Hitman first in the Dark World. Other red crystal is Meyer, and the other pendant is Thieves Town. Pretty favorable layout, but it does mean that we will need at least one medallion. Hitman giving us first look at Hype Cave. TJ giving us first look at Desert. And there's the hook shot! And the net, but there's the hook shot over in Hype Cave. That makes it pretty hype. That's pretty hype right there. Meanwhile, Ken is also going to go ahead and pick up that Moon Pearl. Now, Desert is sort of an interesting case here because Desert is a pendant, but it is the green pendant, so it is worth an extra item at the end. And you can complete it. You got the Power Glove, you've got a Fire Source. You'd like a little bit more than just the hammer in terms of sustainable weaponry. You also have bow. But meanwhile, Yoinker's wife is actually going to go the same direction as TJ here and go towards the desert area. We'll see if Yoinker's wife opts to go more check Agina's first. All right, Hitman taking a little bit of damage. Getting towards Catfish. A little bit of a Catfish kind of run here. This is definitely something where you really wish that you had a sword. We have not yet seen a sword amongst our racers. We've had a decent amount of divergence here as well. And Hitman, and there's Red Mail. Won't turn that down at 4 hearts. Will not turn that down. Meanwhile, TJ Maelstrom making a beeline for the back. Meanwhile, I think Yoinkers is going to go ahead and... Let's see what direction Yoinkers will go from here. But TJ Maelstrom is going to go ahead and work on Land Molus here. Meanwhile, Link to the Past Ken is going to be picking up a bomb, or picking up a bow, rather, in just a second. That Moldorm, that Mini Moldarm, dodging at just the right time. Okay, there are also a good number of heart containers here in Mini Moldarm Cave, and there is that bow. All right, and hammer strats are pretty difficult against landmills here, but doing a great job so far. Does have to be a little cautious. Does have to be pretty cautious. But yeah, using the bow, just going at range, and down goes Landmolus. And that is just for 20. But that is a green pendant, and that is the first dungeon completed. And Yoinker's wife actually opting to skip out here on... is going to go ahead and skip out right now on Landmolus. Which I don't mind as a decision, but you've already done a good portion of the dungeon. So, meanwhile, Link to the Past Ken being the first to go towards Ice Rod Cave, and just a heart container over in Nagina's cave. And just 50 rupees, it looks like, on Lake Hyrule Island. Yoinker's wife making the play towards Mini Moldorm Cave, gonna be picking up like 2 hearts and a bow. And sure, a little bit of cash, but it's more about the bow there. We'll see when our racers choose to do Eastern. Eastern Palace is a crystal. It's in Logic. So we'll see how that goes. All right, and under the bridge, just a rupee. I think if Yoinker's wife had done Mini Moldorm first, I think that would have been an easier decision to go ahead and do Landmolus. But meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and see Link to the Past Ken going ahead and doing here, and just a single arrow on Sassarola. Oh, ooh, Powder. Powder in Waterfall Fairy is interesting. Just a B, though, from the Waterfall Fairy. And Sun Prize is just 5 arrows, so Link to the Past Ken will have to leave behind the Zora check. Not to say something can't be on Zora Ledge, but 20 rupees is not going to cut it. Meanwhile, TJ Maelstrom is making his way into Eastern Palace in the 3 items that it has and the crystal. So you like to see the big key early, potentially do that, and Zora just having some bombs. So unfortunately, those are some very expensive explosives there. All right, but we'll see what else is in Eastern. There's our first item, piece of heart. Nice opportune piece of heart there. Meanwhile, Yoinker's wife is going to go ahead and pick up that mail. Link to the Past Ken and Yoinker's wife are probably both going to tackle Eastern as well. And Hitman also making his way into Eastern. So we've got a little bit of a we've got a party in Eastern Palace here. Very quick Stalfos room there, and there's item 2. So the dream is still alive. If the big chest has the 3rd item, we can skip out entirely on going to the big key chest. And it's a compass. So this is interesting. TJ Maelstrom is going to opt and take a 50-50 chance that the big key chest at the big key chest is the map. So we'll see how that goes. I've got a feeling at least one of our racers will go ahead and try to do. We'll go ahead and do big key chest, but we actually should know pretty simultaneously whether or not it pays out or not. So. But TJ Maelstrom is zooming through Eastern. It definitely helps when Eastern is very zoomable through. But yeah, if this is not the item, I will wonder, will TJ go back into Eastern, or we'll say like, nah, we'll just, this item does not exist. Hitman also making the same call. All right, TJ Maelstrom setting up for a quick Armus kill. Gets the setup correct. And very well done. And that is item number 3. So the map is in the big key chest, and that is crystal number 1 for TJ Maelstrom at just over 20 minutes. So this will end up being the right call. Hitman made the same call. Let's see what Yoinker's wife will do here. Yoinker's wife will also go straight for the back. That will be the correct call. All right, and let's see. Link to the Past Ken will go and pick up the map. It's the more completionist route. It just doesn't work out quite. It won't work out in this case. Hitman, unfortunately, doesn't look like we'll get the quick Armus kill, but it's still pretty quick. Still item 3, still very well done. Meanwhile, Yoinker's wife making her way back to the back. So, and this is especially where you'll really be able to see a difference in how that route ended up playing out, because Yoinker's wife and Link to the Past Ken entered at around the same time. And Yoinker's wife is almost done with the dungeon. Link to the Past Ken getting the clip there. TJ Maelstrom opting to go ahead and get a couple of rupees there. Hitman going ahead and going into pod. Absolutely makes sense. Doesn't quite get the quick kill on Yoinker's wife's side, but that is Armus Nights down. That is item 3, and that is crystal number 1 for Yoinker's wife. All right, and Hitman gonna go ahead and go into Palace of Darkness here. Meanwhile, TJ Maelstrom checking under the bridge. We're gonna see where Yoinker's wife goes from here. Probably Hype Cave. I can see Hype Cave and maybe going west. Getting some nice creepy music though here. Oh, Yoinker's wife had not yet done the dam yet, so yeah, this makes sense. We don't have the mirror yet, which would have helped considerably. All right, but let's see what we get in pod over on Hitman's side. Pod is a crystal tonight. So let's see, where's Yoinker's wife going from here? Looks like more towards that. Pod is just a key for a key. Oh, okay, this is the play up towards Waterfall. Still does not have enough rupees, though, for Zora. Zora, though, isn't much of... Zora doesn't actually have anything of consequence. Link to the Past kind of does collect crystal number 1, though. Right. And just the knowledge of the Zora ledge there. And a whole bunch of keys over on Hitman's side. It does look like Link to the Past Ken is going to follow into Pod, though. So that'll be interesting. Meanwhile, TJ Maelstrom taking that powder and giving us Magic Bat. Just for a couple more explosives, and that will end. And that side, I'm a little surprised. TJ Maelstrom didn't opt to continue that into Village of Outcasts. But meanwhile, we do get a fire shield over in Hitman's side. Let's take a look at what we've got here in Pod. Oh, right. TJ Maelstrom is still looking for that Moon Pearl, so. That makes sense now. TJ's routing makes sense. Because TJ, right now, it is still not an Agaseed. We still don't have a sword. No one has a sword yet. We've got a mirror. That's a great item to get before doing this check. Still looking for that. Looking for a sword or 2, or 3, or 4. Yeah, good catch. You can't just swing away. So TJ's feeling a little confused here. Will opt to go up the mountain, though. This is a couple items. This is in logic. There is another bottle in Pod Big Chest. All right, and this will be good for the hook shot for Yoinker's wife. And for another bottle. All right, and that looked like that was a fire rod over on Old Man. So that's going to be, that's good to get out of the way now. And that does, when TJ finds the Moon Pearl, which unfortunately is not here, and the mirror is not here, so Hera is completely locked out. So not a whole lot on Spectacle Rock, and just a heart container there. TJ is trying to think of where is what's remaining. This is going to be at last location here for TJ Maelstrom, unfortunately. But meanwhile, Hitman is running through Pod and just about done. Link to the Past Ken is also going through Pod. Yoinker's wife is on her way to Pod. A lot of Pod being done. Yep, Yoinker's wife being a little cautious with Kiki there. If you take a hit while Kiki is following you, Kiki will retreat back to the woods. You gotta go get Kiki again, pay another 10 rupees. It's not ideal. And there's the Moon Pearl for TJ Maelstrom. That is Dark World access. Also, this is an interesting one for Hitman here. Fortunately fortunately, King Helma is standing pretty still there. Plenty of time to put a couple arrows in. And that is Helmasaur down. That is 300 more rupees. And that is crystal number 2 for Hitman at about the 28-minute, 55-second mark. All right. Meanwhile, TJ Maelstrom, in his first foray into the Dark World, will go ahead and get that hook shot and another red goo. Not going to turn those down. Link to the Past Ken does need to go towards Hype Cave. Had opted to go to pod from 5, from Eastern, essentially. So that'll be kind of interesting. See when Ken does pick up that hook shot. All right, and yeah, with the hammer, with the, this is prime for Swamp Palace here. Yeah, I like this play on Hitman's side. Swamp Palace, it's another item-dense location. It's a lot of items. You'd like to be able to go mode it instead of clear it out all the way, but, while you're right here. And TJ, good heads-up play actually picking up rupees there, because otherwise TJ would not have enough for Pod. And Pod does... yeah, Pod doesn't have a whole lot in there, but it is a crystal. It's doable. It's a dungeon. Oh, never mind. It did have the mirror. That's right. It had a mirror. That's kind of important. You need that. Need one of those. But at this point, I've got a feeling we'll find at least one sword in here. But what do you think? Do you think we'll find 0 swords, 1 sword, or more than 1 sword here in Swamp Palace? All right, there's the battle on Ken's side, and there's the shield over on Yonker's wife's side. So Hitman is pretty much a full dungeon ahead of all of our racers here. And yeah, it does have to dodge around, because again, still no shield. Yonker's wife opting to pick up these rupees. Going to be a little bit slower along here, but Yonker's wife is probably thinking, like, I abandoned Zora, so let me go ahead and get the rupees ready so that I've got that as a possibility. Hitman opting to do the back, which I actually don't mind, because you're probably not going to find, like, 3 swords. So you're kind of resigned to doing Argus with hammer strat, so a lot of menuing. Setting up for bomb diver down. Very nicely done. Have a bomb refill, and there's Titan's Mitt. So this was required, and that does open up a lot more of the world. All right, and with that big key, that does give a lot more incentive to go back in afterwards and do left side swamp, just so that you've already got to get back here. You've already got to do that. All right, and here comes some menuing. And there's not really a better way to do this. There is not a better way to do this at this time. Actually, there is no other way to do this. I guess the biggest dream would be able to quick swap between the two easily, but that is not the case. Ken actually remembering you can use bombs to actually crack open that King Helmasaur shell right there. Down goes Helmasaur on Ken's side. Very well done. And that's 300 rupees, and that is crystal number 2 over on Link to the Past Ken's side. Very well done. Meanwhile, Hitman is wrapping up phase 1. Very well done. Just trying to keep Argus pinned there. This is where red mail really comes in handy because Argus does not do a whole lot of damage to you, and that is Argus down. That is 50 rupees, but more importantly, that is crystal number 3. That's crystal number 3 at the 35-minute mark. Like, we know where the fire rod is. Hitman's going to get to the fire rod sooner than later. Still looking for ice rod, Cane of Samaria, 2 swords, and 1 to 2 medallions still, though. So we still have a ways to go. We're still not really anywhere near go mode yet. I'm thinking our first sword will be in the Paradox 5. Saying that with the benefit of having seen most of Swamp Palace. Hitman does have 3 more checks to make here. Does remember, right? We got that, and of course there's a map. So, interestingly, TJ Maelstrom was the last racer to get the Moon Pearl, and that was pretty much a last location. But that did lead TJ Maelstrom up the mountain a bit, so TJ may end up going back towards the mountain, actually, here. Okay, Link to the Past Ken opting to go ahead and just get a bottle refill. Absolutely understandable. Yoinker's wife making a heads-up play there to drink that red goo that she had gotten in Hype Cave. All right, and that is King Helmasaur down on Yoinker's wife's side. GG. Meanwhile, Hitman is going left side swamp. Let's see what we missed over here on the first trip. That's crystal number 2 for Yoinker's wife. Meanwhile, we're seeing what we've got here on Catfish. Catfish, yep, with the red armor, that's right. We'd already seen that on Hitman's side. Won't turn it down, but not quite what you're looking for. All right, left side swamp. We had a piece of heart. And no swords in swamp. Oh boy. Regardless, you really don't want to be in a situation where you're like 40 minutes in and you're still looking for a sword. I do like this check here though. Like, make sure you can't actually use Bombo's tablet yet. You need 2 swords for that. But that is where silvers are going to be. Silver arrows, should you choose to accept them, are going to be on Bombo's tablet. That's going to be an interesting one, actually. Hitman will probably not go back for those. Yoinker's wife thinking, let's just go ahead and we are set for money for the rest of the seed. We got potion cash. We got all the cash. Meanwhile, TJ Maelstrom, you gotta. It's a little dry in there. All right, and this is going to be Link to the Past Ken picking up that bottle. Probably wish this kind of had a little bit earlier, but now is also as good a time as any. But yeah, I'm going to be curious which one of our racers goes to East Death Mountain first. And there is that hook shot and that second and that third bottle actually for Ken. Meanwhile, Hitman going through Desert Palace. Desert Palace not really being anything of consequence today, but it's still it's still pretty quick, and it is the green pendant, so it's at least worth an additional item. So absolutely understandable. Meanwhile, after having gotten that hook shot, Link to the Past Ken making a beeline for here. And actually, having not already done the dam, actually, this actually makes a good amount of sense here. All right, and then let's see where Yoinker's wife goes after this. We'll go ahead and get that. Yeah, getting that mail absolutely makes sense. And yeah, now with the Zora money, unfortunately, we know Zora was bombed all along. And TJ Maelstrom opting to go ahead and do left side swamp first. I do like this play, and it does mean that TJ Maelstrom will be able to just do all this in one go, which will end up saving a little bit of time here, assuming Bomb Diver Down goes well. Has anyone gone for Skullwoods checks? Not yet. No one has gone to Skullwoods or Village of Outcasts quite yet. We've seen Pod, we've seen Swamp, but that's about it. And it looks like Yoinker's wife is also thinking Swamp Palace here. A sword will be in Skullwoods just for laughs then. Yeah, there's... This has been an interesting seed so far. Because we've been able to complete a good number of dungeons just without a sword. And that is Landmolus down for Hitman, just for $20, for 20 rupees, and that is the green pendant. Now, green pendant isn't worth anything. TJ Maelstrom is going to find 2 items back here, though, so it's one of those feels bad kind of moments where neither are progression, but it was at least the right decision to do that first. Or it's the decision that will pay out. Meanwhile, Link to the Past Ken also opting to go ahead and do left side swamp first. All right, and there's that heart container there. So let's see where a Hitman... I could see a Hitman doing... let's see, Skullwoods? Will this be Skullwoods, or at least Village of Outcasts? Or will this be heading up the mountain with the Titan's Mitts and Hookshot? Or will it be King's Tomb? Okay, it'll be King's Tomb first. Absolutely makes sense. This is your best chance to do it. For 10 arrows, though. All right, very nice Bomb Diver Down setup there for TJ Maelstrom. And there's those Titan's mitts. And this is going to go ahead and be the mountain here for Hitman. So Hitman will go ahead and get the fire rod, which will, honestly, that'll be a good decision. Old Man does have the fire rod, as we saw in TJ Maelstrom's side. However, Hitman will be able to do a lot more of the mountain. When TJ was looking for the Moon Pearl, but the Dark World had the mirror, had the hook shot, so Hitman actually has the mountain to do. Probably not going to be able to do. Still needs a ways to go before Turtle Rock becomes really an option, but could be interesting. All right. Meanwhile, TJ Maelstrom taking down Argus. Link to the Past Ken did do the bomb diver down there. Very well done. Seeing the heart container there. Saying, no thank you. And apparently, yeah, you can light puffs on fire. Apparently. And that is crystal number 3 for TJ Maelstrom. And just a rupee hoard over on Ether Tablet, so that one we will absolutely be giving a skip. Silver arrows are handy. Not really what you're looking for, though. Let's see what we get here on Hitman's side, though. First one into Tower of Hera. Little cotton candies are flammable. Are they flammable or are they inflammable? Or both? All right. Yeah, with the big key in hand, let's see what Hitman chooses to see what we get in Eastern. There is item number 1. All right, so we got 50-50 between Moldorm is either going to have a small key or it's going to have item number 2. Ooh, okay. So TJ Maelstrom opting to go ahead and stock up on bombs, stock up on items. You got the weaponry, you got the cash for it. TJ Maelstrom's going to give us Ice Palace here. I like this. I like this play. And 46 minutes, 58 seconds in Pendant Tower of Hera, we get our first sword. We get the first sword. Hitman's thinking like, hey, you know, I'm prepared for Pedestal, which we actually already know is just a rupee hoard. Link to the Past Ken, having checked it very early on, but yeah, no Samaria for Ice. But then again, you know, Kena Samaria is going to be in that chest. Someone double check for me. Was that another sword up over on Floating Island? Meanwhile, TJ Maelstrom is preparing for it was another sword. Ooh. And that's gettable. That Hitman is absolutely going to get that. So we went from 0 swords to very soon 2 swords or more. This is going to be mirroring at the bottom of the mountain here. Kind of a standard setup here. Meanwhile, Yorker's wife making her way back to the back towards Argus. Link to the Past Ken facing against Argus. TJ Maelstrom doing an absolutely wonderful Ice Palace bomb jump there. And yeah, Ice Palace Bomb Jump without a sword is tough. Like this has been a pretty interesting seed here, and great bomb setup there for TJ Maelstrom. All right, let's see what we got in Paradox 5. There's the Canis Samaria. And bomb. So, okay, I thought it was going to be another sword. It wasn't, but we'll take that Canis Samaria. Setting up for a little bit more of a challenging bomb jump. Does get it done very nicely. And we are hookshot locked. Good news is we do have a hookshot, so, you know, progress. And Link to the Past 10 taking down Argus and collecting crystal number 3. GG. All right, Super Bunny Cave, 20 rupees, and the other cane. So that's actually our first safety item, and that technically puts Spike Cave in logic. Meanwhile, we do get a shovel. I think that's item number 2 there. All right, and we have a vanilla big key there. And it looked like that was Ether Medallion over for opening up Proto Rock. We will need the Ether Medallion. That will be 100% required. There's the Mirror Shield. Of all the shields, it's one of them. And that is the only... that's the only thing really in there. But yeah, Hitman is going to go ahead and pick up that sword. And Yoinker's wife getting a little bit pinned here by Argus. Very nicely hit there. Right, Yoinker's wife has not yet gone up the mountain. And there is the Master Sword for Hitman. That's tricky time. It is tricky timing with the hammer. Does have to be a little cautious here. All right, and now Link to the Past Ken is thinking about that hammer. Link to the Past Ken thinking about Desert Palace. All right, and great timing there for Hitman. And that is Spike Cave, just 20 rupees. TJ Maelstrom, though, taking down Cold Stare. And that is crystal number 4. Great splash placement. And that is crystal number 3 for Yorker's wife. GG. I'll say we've had some very challenging. This is a challenging loadout overall. You know, we've gotten good. I mean, getting the hammer early is great, but you really want to try to find that hammer a little bit earlier than you actually do. And especially considering 2 swords are up on the mountain. And Hitman is actually going to opt to get the silver arrows. I mean, you know you have to face Vitreous. So this does make sense. And hey, it makes for a much quicker Ganon fight if you don't find another sword. We're not guaranteed to find another sword. The other 2 swords could be in Ganon's tower. Lot of possibilities. Yorker's wife thinking about what to do here. Gonna go ahead and check out what is on Bombo's tablet, which we know it's actually not going to be bad. It's actually going to be silver arrows. And a little cautious here with the hammer, but Hitman now going to go ahead and go into Ice Palace as well, but with the benefit of the Cane of Samaria. TJ Maelstrom did a great job, and TJ getting the bad news about the Cane of Samaria. Although, you'd still rather find it than not. But Hitman will be able to clear Ice Palace much quicker just by virtue of the route. All right, Yonker's wife going to go ahead and give us a couple new checks. We have not yet seen Village of Outcasts or Skull Woods, and it kind of makes sense. It does actually make sense a bit because Thieves Town is our final pendant. So you really don't want to have to go over there if you can help it. It is a smorgasbord of items, though. And this is going to be Ken picking up the fire rod momentarily. We did actually get a PED read at like the 3-minute mark by Link to the Past Ken. Unfortunately, it is a rupee horde. So we know it's dead. 3 of the racers know it's dead. Meanwhile, Yonker's wife giving us a couple of new checks here. And 5 digs for 300 rupees. Yonker's wife is not going to say no to that, though. Just because it does make for some valuable potions money. And this can be also pretty quick. Actually, very quick. Smith chain. And it looks like that is what Yonker's wife is thinking as well. So, prioritizing a bit of overworld, which I don't really blame her for, because because your remaining dungeons, you got Ice Palace, which is available. Ice Palace is pretty dangerous without a sword. It's doable. We've seen 2 of our racers. Oh no! Did TJ skip Ice Tea Room? You think TJ skipped out on Ice Tea Room, and that is not good. Fortunately, with the Cane of Samaria, it's not terrible, but yeah, that flute is 100% required for Misery Mire, so that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. We'll see when TJ Maelstrom goes back to Ice Palace. But this could see Thieves Town before that. That's going to be tough. TJ Maelstrom, though, going ahead and doing a Harapot here. Actually had the clip. Actually had the clip to go into Harapot, but that's a little bit quicker. Very well done. Very well done. Meanwhile, Cold Stare fight, which is still not fun. Like keeping in mind, TJ Maelstrom just picked up a first sword. Hitman just got a second sword, like, less than 10 minutes ago. And that is crystal number 4 for Hitman. Dungeon number 6. Now, we know that Pet is dead. Link to the Past Ken knows that Pet is dead. No one else does, though. So Ped is kind of going to be in everyone's mind just because Ped is really early. It's a very available check. And TJ Maelstrom does get knocked off by Moldorm. That is one of the tougher checks there. All right, let's see if this pays out. Just 5 rupees there. That is going to be Moldorm down, though, for TJ Maelstrom. And that's another sword. All right, and that is the Pendant of Wisdom, because this is the first. This was the first game that had the concept of wisdom, power, and courage. And in this game, the Pendant of Wisdom is red. The Pendant of courage is green, and that remains throughout the series. But power is blue. And then Ocarina of Time mixed everything up together there, so, you know. But meanwhile, Yonker's wife, being in Thieves Town, is definitely thinking pedestal at this point. Absolutely understandable. But unfortunately, swords are available earlier, and this is also not a fun place to be without a sword. And there's a bunch of items in the back. There's a bunch of items in the back. All right. Meanwhile, TJ Maelstrom and Hitman both going to Village of Outcasts. This actually will probably be starting by going north. Yep, this is going to be... both of them are going to go towards Skull Woods. Absolutely, like, a good call to make. And also, they are neck and neck. Except for one thing. You'll notice on the screen, both of them have completed Ice Palace. TJ missed out on the flute, though. There is still one item remaining. That could be a problem. Link to the Past does go ahead and get that Canis to Mario, though. Right now, that is the main difference between the two racers. We will have to see when TJ Maelstrom goes back. Meanwhile, though, Yorker's wife is going to go ahead and check out a couple of these Northern Hyrule checks. Is doing a hard avoidance of crystal dungeons for the time being, which does make sense. I mean, again, you still don't have a sword. You're an hour in. You're over an hour in, still no swords. And that does not feel good. That does not feel good at all. All right, and but she does get the Ethan Medallion. That is required. All right, Hitman does get the news about, does get the bad news about Pedestal, so that's at least going to be some good knowledge. But yeah, okay, so Ether, that's going to be a little bit more of an interesting check. Now, Hitman I don't think Hitman and TJ, they haven't done south of Village of Outcasts yet, so I could see the route going that way instead of towards Northern Hyrule. We'll see when they do that. We'll see when they route that in. But right now, that is a good find for Yoinker's wife. Meanwhile, Link to the Past getting the unfortunate realization that you got the mirror shield before a sword. But Ken does know where a sword is. It is up here on Floating Island. Oh, and so Hitman did Orphan Graveyard Ledge. Oh, you're right. So that is going to be a problem. But Hitman and TJ Maelstrom both went ahead and finished off Skull Woods. Very well done. So let's see where they go from here. Ooh. Let's see where they go from here. All right, we are still missing one item here in Skull Woods. So both racers, and there's item number 2. Well, that was easy. It's nice when item number 2 is just conveniently located. Oh, okay. So Hitman may go ahead and do Graveyard Ledge here, and if so, that will be good. That will be good. Still don't know quite yet. Thinking about it, and will go towards Graveyard Ledge. That will be good for the Ether Medallion. That is going to help considerably. Yorker's wife also getting the knowledge there. So, what a check! What a check! That's going to pay out. That's huge. There's that Ether Medallion for Hitman. Okay, so it was only one item. Yeah, I thought I saw the map and compass. So yeah, only one item in the front of Thieves Town. TJ Maelstrom definitely thinking about, let's just go ahead and do Ped. I don't believe TJ Maelstrom actually checked Pedestal, though, while back there. But either way, it's still 4 items in total. Yep, that was map compass in the front. Okay, thank you, Maddie Walk. And yeah, if you're not already, please give the... Sorry, my cat is... A little bit of jerk. There we go. But hey, there's a heart container there for Hitman. But yeah, our racers putting on an excellent show for us. So go ahead and give them a follow. And yeah, unfortunately, TJ Maelstrom also giving a pass to Thieves Town, and that's not great. We do not yet know. We're still looking for Ice Rod, and we still don't know what the Meyer Medallion is. Those are the two big unknowns at this point. We have enough swords. They're not fun, but we've got enough swords. Meanwhile, Hitman is going to go ahead and look into this. Does want to make sure that... Because yeah, you really don't want to go through the entirety of Turtle Rock, all the way through Laser Bridge, only to find out that, yeah, it was not a Laser Bridge Ice Rod. But with only one item in the front, 3 items in the back, that does give a bit more credence there. So we'll see what we do from here. There's the map, and Hitman also exiting Thieves Town. All right, so yeah, anything being in Thieves Town, Link to the Past Ken at this point has the best chance of capitalizing if something is there. And this is good for Yoinker's wife. This is going to be Yoinker's wife making her way and getting 2 swords at the end of the day. There's that cape for TJ Maelstrom. And yep, Ether Medallion is on Graveyard Ledge. Oh, and there's Bombos. All right. So Shovel actually turning out big there. That Shovel from Ice Palace. Now, we don't know if we need Bombos per Meyer or not. We have not yet. I could have sworn we've been to Meyer's Shed. But I don't remember seeing what the medallion was there. Chat thinking that it was potentially Quake. Or it was also Ether. Oh, was it double Ether? All right, and there's the... There we go. And for Yorker's wife, there is the Harapot. All right. We'll see. We'll get consensus once we get someone to go back. We'll get more info. No worries. All right. TJ Maelstrom going ahead and turning in, and there's that third bottle. Yeah, it's a very quick check, usually, to check out what is on there. And TJ Maelstrom also going to go ahead and pick up those silvers, which frankly they're already worth it. They're going to be worth it for Vitreous alone, and it's a very quick check when you've already got the purple chest. Check the VOD. Meyer is Quake. All right, so yeah, we are still in the hunt for Quake Medallion and Ice Rod. So this routing right here that TJ is making, this is making the rush to, and yeah, TJ Maelstrom, unfortunately, is also on the hunt for Flute. But so far, it is looking more and more like there is going to be the Ice Rod just sitting in. Well, Ice Rod could also be in Meyer. If Ice Rod's in Meyer, then TJ's in a bit of trouble here. But, or could not be. Could be right here. And there's that first sword for Yorker's wife. There is, at the 1 hour, 10-minute mark. It feels bad when that's your first sword. It absolutely does. Laser Bridge, Quake into Meyer Ice Rod. That would actually probably be a worst case scenario for TJ. TJ is lacking on the flute. The flute, which it is in Ice, that TJ left behind. Ice Tea Room was required. So that's going to be a problem. All right, but let's see what Hitman. Hitman will probably go ahead and go in. I mean, when you're one item, Hitman's one item, 2 items from go mode, and you're gonna get at least one of them in here at this point, unless one is blocked and we actually need Thief Town. Yeah, Hitman. Yeah, Hitman will be going ahead and doing TR. And yeah, we've got to really. This is gonna be pretty tough here. The good news is Yorker's wife did definitely see the that other sword, so Yorker's wife will also be getting that second sword momentarily as well. A little surprised actually. Link to the Past Ken did not pick up the second sword. Oh right, because second sword was in Hera. Link to the Past Kevin did not do Hera. But, you know, this is actually another differentiator. If Link to the Past Ken does the back of Thieves Town, and keeping in mind, Ken was actually the very first person to check pedestal back at the 2.5 minute mark. I don't think he wanted to fight Moldorm with the hammer. That is, honestly, that's a fair statement. That's fair. Yorker's also making the TR play here. All right, and Link to the Past Ken is also going to be skipping out on back of Thieves Town, so Thieves Town will keep its secrets for the time being. That is all 4 of our racers deciding to say no. Okay, I was wondering if Yoinker's wife was going to go straight into TR. Yoinker's wife hadn't made these checks here, so this will also be Yoinker's wife getting the Master Sword, at least. That'll be good. Meanwhile, Hitman into Turtle Rock. Again, we are still looking for Quake Medallion. We are still looking for the Ice Rod. And there's the big key. So that one was 100% required to do Lava Chest. There's the thanks for playing Mirror Shield. Too bad you can't just take that Mirror Shield, take the mirror part of it, and just use that and have double mirror. Meanwhile, TJ Maelstrom also making his way into Turtle Rock. And there is that Master Sword for Yoinker's wife. Oh, and there is the Ice Rod! Ice Rod was on the way! To answer question in chat, no one dipped the back of Thieves Town, but there's the Ice Rod. We are the Quake Medallion from Go Mode, though. We are 1 item from Go Mode. We do need the Quake Medallion. Where is that Quake Medallion? And this is going to be difficult as well because Trinex with anything less than the Temper Sword is a bit of a tough fight. It is not a fun fight. More doable with a Master Sword versus Fighter Sword, certainly. But yeah, back at Thieves Town is a possibility, and it's that one would be the one where everyone just ended up missing it. All right, Yoinker's wife into Turtle Rock. One of the dungeons that begins with the letter T. And what do we have on Laser Bridge? We have the mushroom. We've got a map. And 1 hour, 17 minutes, 8 seconds. Hitman is in Go Mode. All right, well, and that's all 4 items, so Hitman was definitely hoping for Tempered Sword there. But alas. So this will be an interesting fight here, though. But that is Go Mode for Hitman. And but it will not be Go Mode for TJ or for Yoinker's wife. Now, Yoinker's wife has not yet done Ice Palace. So Yoinker's wife will still have an opportunity to pick up that flute. TJ Maelstrom, though, already completed Ice. So that's gonna be that's the story of this one. Very nice. Very nicely done by Hitman, though, on that Ice Rod head. And there's the Ice Rod for TJ Maelstrom. Still really good to have. You need it, 100% need it for this seed. And that is Trinex down on Hitman's side. But don't get numbers in chat because we still have one more crystal dungeon. And of course, there's our third sword. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. But that is crystal number 6 for Hitman. So now it's just up to taking down Meyer, all sorts on the mountain today. So far, yeah. And that's really a bad place for a sword. It's one of those, that feels bad. But you'd also much rather have that before Ganon's Tower and not have to potentially open a couple checks in Ganon's Tower just to find a sword. And there's that quick medallion. All right, and Yorker's wife is about to pick up that ice rod. All right, and there's the quick medallion there for TJ Maelstrom. But unfortunately, TJ can't quite use it yet. Still need that flute. All right, but Yorker's wife also going to the back of Turtle Rock. All right, let's see. But now Hitman is just looking for the big key. Once Hitman finds the big key, that will be it. That will be everything Hitman checks here. Oh, like that one. Like that big key. That's Godmire. That is as close to a Godmire as you can get. That is Godmire. There we go. All right, TJ Maelstrom having a little bit of trouble here with Trinex. Unfortunately, because Link is left-handed, that also affects which hand he's got the hammer in. There we go. All right, and that is Ice Head down for TJ Maelstrom. Meanwhile, Link to the Past Ken is into Ice Palace. And this is going to be for the flute. So does need to do Ice Tea Room. That is the critical thing here. That is Trinex down for TJ Maelstrom. That is going to be crystal number 6 and a very nice sword there. All right. And don't blink, you'll miss it. So that is why Hitman went to get those silver arrows earlier. That is exactly why. That is crystal number 7. It's time to play a little bit of a game. Get a guess between 1 and 22 into chat. Where do you think the GT Big Key will be? In which number check? Oh, interesting. Link to the Past Ken. Actually gonna go ahead and do Ice Palace Bomb Jump here. We're gonna guess 20. All right, and Yorker's wife on her way. Whoop. I'm a little bit coming off the platform, but there we go, into the Trinex fight. All right, TJ Maelstrom gonna go ahead and make a couple of these extra checks here. We'll see what was on Mushroom. Okay, good idea. Good idea. Just go ahead and on Yorker's wife's side, the fire head is not as bad as the ice head, because the ice head, while the ice head won't damage you with its ice, it will leave flame. It will leave an iced path. Makes things really difficult. While the fire hurts, it doesn't stay on the ground. Meanwhile, Link to the Past Ken will have to give up on Ice Palace Bomb Jump for the time being. That will be red mail for TJ Maelstrom there. But guesses are closed. All right. Let's see what we got in here. Item 1, just some bombs. Item 2, just a compass. So we are forced to go left side. All right, good dodge there on Yarnka's wife's side. And that is, I don't know if Yarnka's wife has a spare blue. Oh, got tagged by the tail. Oh, careful. Oh, be careful. Oh, she's got blues. Okay, she's got blue potions. Okay. Also, 4. 4 was the answer. Oh, that was quick. All right. Well, that is in between Maddie Wildcard and Kif, our 2 trackers, who, by the way, have been doing a fantastic job pressing the buttons, keeping me honest. And that is a very welcome 3rd sword upgrade there for Yornka's wife. And that is crystal number 4. That is crystal number 4. Go ahead and see. Link to the Past Ken does pick up that shovel. Shovel is good for Bombos, but Bombos doesn't really unlock anything. Yornka's wife needs to go to Ice Palace. Actually, Link to the Past Ken is in okay shape. Even though it wasn't able to do Ice Palace Bomb Jump, with doing the rest of the dungeon, should be fine on being able to not have to do unnecessary circle throughs. However, Link to the Past Ken needs to do Ice-T Room. Ice-T has the flute. And right now, Hitman was the only person to have it, and Hitman is also flying through Ganon's Tower. Absolutely flying through. You don't usually see the Stalfos there being the trouble there. Oh, TJ Maelstrom is going into the back of, has been going into Thieves Town, which, unfortunately, not the answer. Yarnka's wife is going to go ahead and pick up those silver arrows, though. Oh, hey, we needed the hammer. All right, this is good for Ken. Ken will not be in Go mode quite yet, because Ken has not touched Turtle Rock yet. TJ, I don't believe has checked Ped. Hitman did, Yornka's wife did, Link to the Past Ken checked it like 3 minutes in. Oh, that's... Okay. Alright, so Yornka's wife is going to go ahead and do Ice Palace here. That is going to be good. Rental agents offer quarters. Get it? Get it? Unfortunately, Ped is just a rupee horde. So yes, that was flute. Flute was IST. All right, TJ Maelstrom just saving and quitting out of Thieves Town. Yep, knows that is not the answer. Okay, and with that save and quit, that does tell me TJ did indeed check pedestal. All right, I think this is TJ realizing, wait, I left an item behind. I gambled that it was not iced tea. And indeed, yep, that is the play. So TJ having to go back into here, but does realize where that ended up being. Meanwhile, we're getting some little bit of agonometry over here on Hitman's side. Ooh, not exactly great angles here. Honestly, great job just getting the one. And that is Aghanim down for Hitman. And not to spoil a 31-year-old game, but Aghanim was Ganon all along. All right, Link to the Past Ken does take down Cold Stare, though, and that is crystal number 5. TJ Maelstrom, that was never proven. All right, Hitman going ahead and getting ready to take down Ganon. I'm your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate. What does that make us, you ask? Absolutely nothing. All right. Honestly, 10 out of 10 final boss music. All right, and that is going to be enough slashes there for phase 2. This is just taking out some aggression about the seed. Absolutely understandably. All right, phase 3, and there's the flute for TJ Maelstrom. TJ Maelstrom is in go mode. Just needs to activate the flute, go to Meyer, finish Meyer, and beat Ganon. And beat Ganon's tower, and then Ganon. All right, but there we go. And Yonker's wife is remembering to go to Ice Tea Room, so that will put Yonker's wife momentarily in go mode. And that is 4 hits. Get your GGs in chat as Hitman is about to cross the finish line and finish this seed. It is just about over. And that is time, and Hitman has finished first on Restream and third overall with an official time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 21 seconds. GG to Hitman. Meanwhile, we've got TJ Maelstrom, Yonker's wife, Link to the Past Ken, still on the racetrack. Couple of the finishers that we had earlier. Great Anti-Bob finishing first place overall with 129.24. Sheffy finishing 130.42. And then Hitman. So a very quick 1, 2, 3 overall for this seed. All right, but very well done. Those silvers were on Bombo's tablet. We actually not bad for swordless. Absolutely. Yeah, this was one of those seeds where actually both Hitman and TJ Maelstrom, both of them checked out what that tablet was, saw it was Archer class, did not have a sword to even be able to do it, and both of them opted to say, nah, we're going to come back and we're going to get those. Your uncle is stunning because it was a boomerang. Get it? Get it? It was a boomerang. All right, Yonker's wife almost done with Cold Stare. It's close. It's going to be close. Very well done. That is Cold Stare down for Yonker's wife. Yonker's wife is in go mode. Still Skull Woods and Misery Mire, but that is crystal number 5. Meanwhile, Link to the Past Ken, still looking for that Quake medallion. Now, Quake... unfortunately, Quake Medallion and Ice Rod are both in Turtle Rock or Turtle Rock adjacent. And yeah, there is also a sword on Trinex. The sword on Trinex kind of makes it a little bit less fun. A little surprised TJ is doing that, but we are joined here in the booth with Hitman GG.
Thank you, GG.
So that was so how was that swordless run?
Yeah, it was fun. Nice little challenge.
Definitely challenges, and of course 3 swords are going to end up on the mountain somewhere.
Of course.
And I guess because we have seen Thieves Town on TJ's side, that was not where one of the swords was. So I guess Ganon's Tower's got the last one. But yeah, overall, kind of trying to think of, kind of some nice early items. So actually, what got you thinking about, you saw what was on Bombo's tablet, and you came back to see what was up with that. You came back to pick those up, kind of, were you thinking like, hey, it's already on my way, or what were you thinking?
Yeah, I was figuring, I'm on Master Sword, thinking maybe a 3rd sword might not show up, make things a little bit quicker for Meyer and Ganon. And I figured that was probably going to be the fastest time to pick them up going to Ice Palace.
Absolutely makes sense.
Hoping to avoid Smith's Chain, but I figured if I'm going to go into Turtle Rock without the Ice Rod, if I can save my portal doing the Smith Chain beforehand was a little bit quicker. Turned out to not be the case, but
I'll say it turned out, Turtle Rock was required. It was, I guess, not required to double dip because you did it in one go. But one of the big differences in the race overall between yourself and TJ, TJ skipped out on Ice-T. You two were neck and neck up to that point. But it was a double mount. That's right. It was a hard required double mountain climb. Because of course, you've got, at least Ice Rod, you're already there, but the Quake, kind of a rude placement.
yeah, I like to totally get the RP. It's a shame that it didn't work out this time for him.
All right. Meanwhile, Yarka's wife, that is crystal number 6 down. Just needs to go ahead and do Meyer. Meanwhile, Link to the Past Ken is going to go ahead and go into TR to pick up both of his Go Mode items. Actually, all 3 Go Mode items, technically. Ken was the only one to not do Hera. So is still on Fighter Sword, actually. Right. And also make sure you give everyone a follow. Hitman, TJ Maelstrom, Yoinker's wife, Link to the Past Ken, putting on an excellent show for us today. Oh yeah, five fights swordless. I don't know, Hitman. When was the last time you saw like a stat line like that? I don't know if you can hear me. It didn't quite come through there.
Alright, hopefully it's a little bit better now, sorry.
Oh, no worries, no worries. So just commenting. Sorry.
Just had a little internet hiccup there, sorry.
No worries, no worries. So as your stats were going past, and it was 5 fights swordless. When was the last time you had? When was the last time that happened for you in a non-swordless seed?
That's a tough one, because I was going to say probably the last time was swordless.
At least you got the hammer pretty early. That's the saving grace.
Hammer and hook shot out the way you need. Yeah, when I was up on the mountain initially, I did Hera just because I hadn't checked head yet, and figured that could still be in play. Then
Well,
I
and
like, all right, this worked out okay.
Right. Well, and especially when head was, I mean, it ended up just being that rupee horde, but it was available pretty early between like Desert, Hera, Thieves Town. Like that kind of gets a little bit worrisome. It feels like.
Oh yeah, definitely. When you're still looking for so many items.
All right, and TJ Maelstrom getting the bad news that Aghanim was actually Ganon, or burst from Ganon, or burst from Aghanim. I don't know. Was that ever settled?
I don't think so.
Right. And that is crystal number 7 for Yornker's wife. And TJ Maelstrom getting the Spaceballs reference there. Is Ganon a xenomorph? Ooh. That's another good question. But yeah, overall, definitely an interesting seed. Kind of glad that Bombos wasn't required, but at least it was a nice early Eastern. Actually, what was kind of one of the reasons that, because it seemed like you were hard avoiding like Village of Outcasts, was just because Thieves Town was a pendant and you still had so much to do?
Yeah, pretty much. And then once I had I think once I had the fire rod, then my plan was to check the for going into Thieves. This way I knew if I needed to finish it or not.
That's fair. And meanwhile, get your GGs in chat, as TJ Maelstrom has crossed the finish line and has finished with an official time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, 57 seconds. And that's good for 2nd place on Restream and 4th place overall. And we are joined here in the booth with TJ. GG.
Thanks. Hey, quick question. What's your policy on swearing here? Just so I know how to respond with my next sentence.
We prefer, PG.
Okay,
We prefer PG.
Then I will mute myself for the following statement. Some of that may have seeped through.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that hurt when it's like we're looking through. It's like, okay, and you finished ice, and wait, why does Hitman have a flute and TJ doesn't?
Yeah, because TJ skipped. My opening route was so unfortuitous that I started cutting corners. Recently, my luck has been such that no matter what it is I skip, it's going to have something important. It doesn't matter. And I keep doing it until it stops, and it hasn't stopped. This is now like 15 consecutive seeds where something like this has happened. It's very, very frustrating.
Oh, yes, I would imagine so.
It is very frustrating. I have to have some kind of curse. This is insane.
Although, because you basically 100% of the game,
Basically.
and you still finished 4th place overall.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's somewhat of a relief, I guess. And I guess I guess slightly above average execution may have counted for something.
Yeah, execution was very good overall between both you and Hitman. Very, very excellent execution, especially considering. When did you get your first sword again, TJ? Was it like an hour in, or was it?
It was after Ice. It was after Ice Palace. That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
We were scrolling through Hitman's stats, and five bosses swordless. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was also kicking myself for not scouting out the Turtle Rock Medallion the first time I was up there too.
Oh,
yeah. So when I got Bombos, I'm like, all right, I'll roll the dice on this, and if not, I'll just do Spike Cave and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, it was an odd seed overall. I mean, that's the kind that you gotta love as a viewer and commentator. But
absolutely. And I was also pretty sure the flute was gonna be in Turtle Rock. It usually is. I think Quake was there.
Quake and adjacent was the Ice Rod.
Ice Rod, yeah. Like Quake, I'm not surprised by. Like I would say like 90% of the time that both Misery Mire and Turtle Rock are crystals. Like the Misery Mire medallion is in Turtle Rock. I can't explain that one. That's a phenomenon I just don't understand. But that's at least been a positive consistent for me. But man, at least I didn't last location that. I did leave something else in Hyrule Castle.
That was the other thing. Yeah, you were definitely the last to get that moon pearl.
I bet. Well, I had so many other clues pointing me in other directions.
Right? Like
I got everything I need to be Desert Palace. Let me go do that. Oh, Eastern Palace, sure, why not? Hey, flippers means something. What's this? Powder? Okay, let me go. Come on, man.
Right. And you were the first to get that fire rod on Old Man. Like,
well, I mean, like nobody's gonna go up the mountain, so like they can do the mountain, right?
Right. So like there were. It was just an interesting seed overall.
Yeah,
honestly.
and I stumbled my way through it, I guess. Yeah.
You made it. Ganon went down. At the end of the day, isn't that what matters?
First place is what matters, but it's fine.
What it's like if you're not first place, you're fourth.
If you're not first place, you're not first place. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
So,
But
I'd take a silver medal, but not this time. This time I don't deserve it. I skipped an important item.
Silver medal on Restream.
There you go. That works. I'll take that.
Well, Yorker's wife is into Land Mode 2. Link to the Past Ken, picking up a couple potions. Did hit go mode. but still just on 2 swords. Link to the Past Ken was the only person to not finish Hera, so did not get that sword off of Moldorm.
Yeah, when I was in that, I hadn't scouted the pedestal, even though I got the book in the Lost Woods. So I just figured, let me just do this, I guess. Nice sword, appreciated that.
Yeah, and at least it's a quick sword. You know, it's. I mean, pendants ended up being kind of a wash, but at least it was a quick.
They did.
It was worth it for the sword, especially for this seed.
These stuff can go to hell, by the way. Like, completely to hell. It's like one item up front. Wow,
Yeah, Thieves Town. That one was kind of a tricky one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if like I'm not sure where I would have gone if the front had a little bit more density. You know, I don't know if I would have done that first or Ice Palace. I don't think it made any difference between me and Hitman at all. But I mean, sheesh. Yeah, the way God, it was a simple matter of really the key layout in Ice Palace that getting to Ice Tea Room was just kind of really a pain in the ass when like when I was going through without the red cane, you know. So right. if I had waited on that, that may have been a different story, because the key layout in the dungeon was such that it was very time consuming to go to Ice Tea Room. So I just said, you know what? Let me just gamble on this. And holy crap! Wow, what a stroke of bad luck.
And you also did have 5 bosses without a sword.
Cool.
You did check 1 fewer item overall than Hitman.
Oh, well, I didn't have to go into Misery Mire looking for a nice rod.
And Meyer being
Meyer being quick, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
right. And
area, I guess.
At least Meyer was God Meyer. You know, it's the little things in life.
Yeah, I was about to kick myself again for not getting that first chest in the hallway, but then a big key showed up. I'm like, oh, now I look smart. Except I am not smart. Oh boy, will somebody please like throw like a silver dollar in the well and just wish this curse away from me, please. Somebody, please.
All right, so everyone, go ahead and take a silver dollar. You know, throw it in wishing well, and as you're there, also give a follow to TJ and Hitman and Yoinkers and Link to the Past Ken for putting on a fantastic.
Well, that was entertaining, at least. By the way, also good luck finding a silver dollar these days.
That too.
Yeah,
they probably still have them at the bank.
I'm sure there's somewhere, right? You have to go out of your way for it.
Meanwhile, York's wife is fighting Ganon right now. Good idea, you know, especially after this seed. After this seed, just I think between both of you, you know, just a couple extra frustration slashes on Ganon. Oh no, there's someone saying you need to keep the curse.
Why? For what?
I don't know.
Well, just. I mean, if you watch my stream at all, I assure you, it is not this much fun. This is me for the community.
Oh no, silver, my one true weakness.
Yeah, that was a fun read when I had no swords. I'm like, do I come back for this?
And actually all 4 of you ended up like seeing that and saying, you know, yeah, we're good. We're gonna go grab that. We're gonna grab that.
I mean, if anybody else did Smith Chains, like the time to do it, right?
Yep. And meanwhile, get your GGs in chat as Yoinker's wife is about to cross the finish line, being the third on Restream to slay Ganon. And that is good for 6th place overall and 3rd place on Restream. Finishing in between was Shiroki. And meanwhile, Link to the Past Ken has put in for a forfeit, has gotten all seven crystals. So, but we are joined here in the booth with Yoinker's wife, GG.
Thank you, GG.
So how about those swords?
Not
Well,
friendly.
at least I found them.
You know, that is the best that could be said. That is.
Yeah. That I knew I could do everything with a hammer that I was doing, and I didn't go for bosses that I knew I couldn't do with a hammer. But I really wanted the glove before I hit the mountain, and I got it.
Yeah, that was well, and then they're of course all on the mountain. And we're also joined here in the booth with Link to the Past Ken, GG.
Sorry,
yeah,
my GG.
Yeah, so swords.
Where are they? Oh, GG.
So there was one sword that everyone else got off of Moldorm.
I didn't have a good weapon for them, and I wasn't about to do it with hammer.
Yeah, the hammer. Yeah, it was, and hammer was your only weapon at that point. I mean, there was the, I guess, floating island, and then of course, you know, Trinex happens to have one.
I laughed so hard at that one. I went, okay.
I mean, there comes a point where like you've filled out pretty much the entire bingo tracker, like the entire tracker of items. Yorker's wife, by the way, the Bombos was at Dig Spot.
Well, I didn't need it.
Right.
Juke the heck out of me.
I was just like, okay, I found the flute. Let's go see Go mode. Very frustrated with my execution tonight. All of my bosses were so gross. Absolutely gross. The only thing I didn't do on them was die. But I wasn't last to finish. I'm good. I win. And bottle percent.
Bottle percent. Yeah, it was definitely a friendly bottle one, and one where, yeah, there was just it was a great seed to watch.
I don't normally go into swamp without a sword.
Right, like it's well, and yeah, I don't think anyone went into swamp with a sword at that point. That was definitely the most menu fighting I think I've seen in a long time.
That was the most fun I think I've ever had fighting August with that sword, by the way. I'm like, what? It's just like 2 clicks of the hammer? Yes, let's go!
Yes. Because the inventory was just bare except for that little turn.
Right.
And it was like, dee-dee, boom,
Yep.
dee-dee, hook shot, dee-dee, boom.
I did not at all like ice on fighter sword.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah. Yeah. Cold stare. Like this. Of all the seeds, this was one of them.
Yes. I was glad that I went up the mountain before doing cold stare, because wow, did I just. I don't know how I derped so hard on cold stare, but I did. Oh, but I got him down. Okay.
But you lived. You used the resources that you had, and you utilized them fully.
Yes. And I was not ashamed of going out for those silvers either.
Every single person got silvers.
I read that tablet and I'm like, you've chosen the archer class. Oh, I'm coming back for those.
Every single person like scouted it, and it's like without a sword, of course, because turns out all the swords are up on the mountain. TJ was the first one up the mountain, but that was because TJ was looking for Moon Pearl still.
Yeah, I got to that late. Yeah, I got to that. I just got to it late, and that facilitated the cascade that ultimately lets you be less located to food. So,
but you got the fire rod.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
I did like the mirror in Pod to get into Swamp.
That was a very convenient mirror in Pod.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is gonna be one heck of an annoying death warp, and there it was.
It really was convenient. I loved that mirror in Pod, and then I did go up to Zora from there, but then straight back to Swamp.
Yeah, when
I was a little thorough.
I was debating if I wanted to death warp or walk out, so that mirror was very nice.
Yeah.
And then Zora have what was it, $20 or something? What was on Zora? Yeah, it was nothing.
Yeah, three bombs. Well, and actually that was and speaking of 3 bombs, I mean not really, but Ken, you were the first one to check what was PED, like 3 minutes in. So I think that gave you a lot of like early good information.
That's why I skipped Desert, the boss, because I knew 1, I couldn't beat it, 2, it wasn't needed.
Yeah, it was definitely going to be a tough fight there, and yeah, I mean, the item was not required for go mode, so there you go. But yeah,
I almost went back to it. Before I did Maya, but I decided that I was going to do it too late. And I don't even know if I did do it. I beat the dungeon I was in, which I had Kate and Silvers. I said, you know what, Maya, I can beat Maya, but I'm not doing Master Sword Cannon. Was there a sword in GT?
We actually don't know, because it was
the key was so fast. Like I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the key was really too quickly.
Hold on, I think there has to be, because I'm pretty sure I checked everything else that wasn't Misery Mire.
I did not do back of Thieves Town. Was there a sword in Thieves Town?
No, there was not. There had to have been in GT.
And there was 3 items back there, so I took a chance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
I did first 4 Thieves Town, got 1 item, and went, not with a hammer. Bye.
I got the first 4 items of Thieves Town. Like I didn't even want to be in here in the first place, and I left. I hate that.
Did everybody do what I did and go to Eastern and Pod, or did they go to a Village of Outcasts?
You mean that we had Darkhold access?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone did Pod pretty early. Everyone hit up Village of Outcasts very late. So yeah, everyone did Pod before Village of Outcasts, and that area. And then from Pod into Swamp. I mean, maybe with a scenic route, but that was the general flow.
Yeah, typically I have the sword so I can do the hammer easier on Helmasaur, so I decided to just use bombs. Because it's harder to hit Helmasaur with just a hammer.
And you've got bombs. Again, use items.
Without a sword, you can't set up the spin speed to extend the hammer hitbox upwards.
Yeah, that was
unfriendly.
It was a good practice seed for. I mean, I guess that with the Casual Boots tournament coming up, I guess you're guaranteed to have a sword. But otherwise, pretty good practice.
I'm in the mentor tournament, so it helps a lot.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
That was the first time I have ever attempted to hammer Helmasaur because I ran out of arrows. I was like, I just need 1 more hit on this guy.
I was wondering about that. Like, I was wondering, like, oh, I didn't realize you had run out of arrows. And yeah, it's a heck of a hitbox.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, okay, first off, I have to somehow get inside of him. So that's going to be a damage boost. And then somehow I have to actually hit his jewel when I can't see where I'm at. I'm just like, oh no. But I did it somehow. And I
When
was like, there you go.
When I found the ice rod, I wasn't very happy, and when I found the sword, I wasn't very happy. Because I knew when I found the ice rod, fighter sword, Trinux.
Right. Well, and everyone had everyone else had Master Sword Trinex, so Hammer Trinex.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually, I really need to practice my hammer Trinex because that was wow. I actually would have done better with just the Master Sword because that's how I've practiced it. But people are like, "Oh, it's faster with the hammer."
It is, and it's a lot more comfortable once you get it down too.
Yeah,
if you
need to
can,
practice.
yeah, if you can get behind the heads in the opening of the fight, then you don't have to worry too much about the upwards hitbox of the hammer. It still got away from me in this one, but the first few hits at least, like if they had an ice rod shot that just didn't take.
I'm glad I had 4 bottles.
Oh, I kept missing with my ice rod. No matter, it seemed like every time I tried to hit it, it would like, as soon as I did the shot, it would move, and I was like,
Move it
ah.
Yeah, Trinex is like that. He sucks.
Yeah. But so I got like 1, maybe 2 hammer hits on the firehead, and then the ice head was engaged, and I was like, well, I don't want ice everywhere, so I switched to the ice head.
Good plan.
Probably the smartest thing I did all seed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing the fire doesn't stick around. I'm not sure which would be worse there.
Yeah.
All right. So, any final thoughts before we wrap for the evening?
None that I can say here.
I'm with TJ on this one.
Yeah.
No, it was if you did it in the right order and you were confident in using a hammer, easy seed. I think.
Yeah, just make sure you skip the right things is all.
Yeah. Yeah.
This seed forced a lot of low percent fights.
It
Yeah.
really did.
I think we had comfortable health and blue mail to carry us through that.
I had red mail from a lot of it.
So did I. Where did I get that red mail?
That was catfish.
Yeah, I took that.
Yeah.
Well, I did too, but I remember it very distinctly because I remember being very angry it wasn't a flute. I also remember being very relieved it wasn't a flute. I don't know. I was ambivalent about that one.
the dichotomy. Dichotomy of.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're like, please be here, but it would suck if it was here.
I wonder if the last sword is in Pyramid Fairy.
That
Maybe.
is just another
Possible.
possibility. That was because since that was also Meyer, no one was going to be checking that.
Yeah,
But
so my last words would be, you are the reason that everybody smiles, or that somebody smiles every day. Sorry. And today it was me. Thank you.
That was fun.
Yeah, I needed this interview. I was raging mad.
All right. Well, thank you everyone again, and make sure to drop everyone a follow. Special thanks to Maddie Walkherd and Kif5 for tracking, pressing the buttons, keeping me honest up here in the booth. We have a lot of dailies coming up. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, we've got Hybrid Major Glitches. Wednesday at 9 p.m., we've got Open 7-7. And then Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern, we have a casual boot seed where the Specky clip which is a newly discovered trick. And it is not it's not overall tournament legal, but it is going to be allowed for the upcoming Casual Boots tournament. So that will be Thursday at 11 p.m.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah. So by the way,
Yes.
Specky Clip is allowed for the upcoming Casual Boots tournament.
That's all right. That's a great experiment to see just how disruptive that trick could be. I like
Right.
that.
I wish I could have used it tonight because I it's gonna cut that cutscene out for filling up the water where the hammer place is, and that is, I don't know, it feels to me like it takes a long time, and it's gonna take that feeling away. So I'm looking forward to that.
How likely would it be to have hammer not required at all if that's the case?
It would take a lot. The GT Big Key would have to be somewhere on the right side, along with enough keys to get you up. So it's exceedingly
and
unlikely.
not have to have pod or ice or
yeah.
TR.
The
All
possibility
three of them
exists,
have to
but
be
it's like
finished. So
the possibility exists, but it's not common. Like that kind of thing already exists for the fire rod in cross keys, and that rarely ever comes up for the fire rod. So I can't imagine it would be true for the hammer in most things.
would you have to keep in track the logic a little bit better? Because if you do that Specky Clip,
Whenever you sequence break, it always benefits you to keep in mind what you're skipping, what you're doing, and what you actually need in order to do it. Like, just have a reference point.
I could see it being used a lot even if you do have the hammer, because it cuts off that cutscene there, and it allows you to go through faster.
and it has a key, so you can just skip getting the key if you have to go left side.
I think I'd still rather have that key. It's
Well, the key's not inside, so you can get the key.
yeah. I think I'd get the key and then do the trick. But that's
Yeah.
neither here nor there.
Anyway, so that will be on Thursday. But thank you, everyone. Thank you, Hitman and Ken and TJ and Yoka's wife. And thank you from all of us here at Speed Gaming. Have a we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, but y'all have a great rest of the evening. Take it easy.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Night.